Okay, good morning. So, just checking through a few bits and pieces that I've done so far. Obviously, thank you to the sponsor, I'm sure it's in reverse, Walker Coy. So, obviously, any needs, obviously, you find him on Facebook. So, just take you through what I've been doing. As you know, 5-6 weeks ago, no, probably a bit longer than that, probably about 7 weeks ago, Dazza came and he built all the frame to the greenhouse, put everything in place. So obviously what I'm doing now is I'm getting all the rest of the other bits and pieces in, so I'll show you what I've done so far. So what I've done so far, as you can see, I've put all the AstroTurf down, put all the steps in place, got all the piping set up now down there for the easy pod. Obviously I've got to set that up for the return, so I've got to set the obviously when I'm I'm struggling to explain it now. When I'm purging the bottom drain, obviously that's what I'm going to be using, so there'll be a pipe attached to that and that'll be going to waste. Obviously, as you can see what I've done on there, again I've put a pipe on there and I've put a lockout. The reason for that then is I can run 20 metres of corrugated hose down to the flower beds when I'm purging that. So obviously I'm recycling everything. Watering, and as you can see, fountain's up and running. Temporarily I've got the pump in the bottom, and as you can see there's some fish in there already, look. And these again are from Rob Walker, so Asagi, Kahaku, and the two Kurashiguis that I acquired for the Kurashigui challenge, so they're in there as well. So as you can see over in that far side, I've got a return that's on a radius, straight, and a radius. And the reason for that is because at some stage I'm going to start running off the easy pod, which I haven't got set up yet, from the easy pod, and then obviously then that'll fetch water over the top, back in. Also what I'll be doing is at the bottom I've got a return that's located down there, as you know, so that'll work on there. So I've got some tables I've got to get done for Teresa, and some angles on there. Obviously the AstroTurf, I'll put the AstroTurf down, whacker plate. Well, prior to that I had to whacker plate all the floor. It didn't go down absolutely fantastic, but it was better than what it was, and it does look quite good. So I'm going to show you a video of what it looks like a little bit further down, so we'll have a look at that later. So as I showed you, it's the tables were in, AstroTurf was down, and all the other bits and pieces. So as you can see over there, sorry, let's turn it. So as you can see, steps are in now. So there's 3 layers of steps up there, AstroTurfed all the way up. All the piping now is in place over there. As you can see, all that's been routed from the easy pod. So it comes through, comes into connection, into a 20,000 variable, actually straight out into your first lockout. And then obviously it comes through to the second lockout that side. So obviously we've got a return that goes straight into the pond that way, and then we've got one that goes around the back and then comes out over there. As you can see, the fountain's working now as well. So it comes out over there, and what I want to do is I want that water to shoot over here for the time being. Reason being is because obviously water's a bit on the low side at the moment. And what I will do is I will be bringing this up, I will be bringing this back into play as well a little bit further down the line. So, what's going to be happening over the next couple of months and stuff before the open day for my plant in May, is I'm going to be putting a hole in there at the moment. So I'm going to be running some 1.5 inch pipe all the way up here across this wall, and the reason for that then is I can go from waste into a pipe all the way down to the bottom, out and into the flower bed, so it goes right the way down the entire length of the garden. What I'm going to be doing as well is in this section here, so from here to around there, which is about 8 foot, there'll be an 8 foot by 8 foot by 6 foot, and then that will come back in as well there. So there'll be 6 foot there, 8 foot by 8 foot by 8 foot, so it'll be a little bit offset. There'll be a space in the centre, and then I will have 2 pipes that come out from there. One will go that way and the other one will go that way. The reason for that is because there'll be another pond here, so this one will be 6 foot by 6 foot by 4 foot. Again, that one will be angled, and the idea then is to have easy pod in the corner here and an easy pod in the corner there, and then obviously waste will go through into the 2 and then back in and out to the, and back out. So that's the plan for. So that's an interesting one that's going to be coming up. All that'll be 1.5 inch weld, just be basically waste pipe basically. So that'll be done. What I'm going to be, as you can see, we've got the corner pieces in there. This is going to be Teresa's potting area, so she's going to be putting all the potting in here. There'll be slats going into here, pretty much the same as the way that I've got that one there, in that one there, look, as you can see. And then obviously Teresa's going to be putting the plants in there. I'm going to be making some modifications, so basically she's got some planters, so I'll make the modifications so the planters sit straight back in. Obviously I've just explained to her about tomatoes and the bits and pieces going to be running in there. I'm also going to be running another table that's going to come underneath, or another shelf if you like, that'll be the same length but it'll come all the way around, and then she can stick all the bits and pieces down on there as well. What I'm hoping, if I've got enough space, I'll put a little seating area in there, or failing that I might have enough space over there to put a small seating area in with a table, computer, and then what I'll do then is I'll have my digital microscope which will be there. All this will be boxed in, and that'll be boxed in as well, so that'll all nice and tidy. So that's the plan for that. After that's done, and hopefully when the weather gets a little bit better, I've got another project that's coming up. All the timber and everything's already been done for it, so that ain't going to be all, so I'll rephrase that, all time timber's been collected for it. I'm going to apologise in advance. It is the middle of the winter and the place is a mess, so I ain't going to lie to you. So what I'm going, all this roofing section here is all going to be coming off, and obviously what my plan is then, that greenhouse is going, all this stuff then will be recycled. So this area is coming out here, and I'm going to have a smoker, and there'll be a barbecue area over there. Roof's coming off here, so all this roof's coming off, all this 4x2's coming off. This 4x2 is going to be recycled, so this will be cut up into 2 foot lengths, and then we'll go into Teresa's shelving that'll go on there, so everything will be recycled on there. Taking the idea that Dazza did, using the plastic up there, I'm going to run plastic across that face with the framing and plastic across this face with the framing. I'm going to put brand new 4x4s in here, and instead of 2.4 they'll actually be 3 metres. One of the biggest problems I've had is my son-in-law's quite tall and he's had a tendency for banging his head up there, so I'm going to take this off, raise it up, that'll be 3 metres, that one will be 3 metres, and that one will be 3 metres, and then what I want to do then is point it downwards, going that way. I have a substantial amount of twin wall that I've got left, mainly because my calculations for the greenhouse were slightly wrong. I bought 24 lengths, I actually only needed 13, so I've got quite a few left, so I'm going to use those. So that'll be a brand new roof on the top of that, so I'm looking at doing that. And if you remember rightly, I'm going to take, this is going to be ripped out, and I'm going to put a proper gas fire pit in here. I might actually look at astroturfing this as well. Yes, decking looks really good, but astroturf looks actually better. And then when you think I've got a substantial amount of astroturf left, why wouldn't I? And then what my plan is, once I've got all the tanks built at the top, that's coming out, and I'm putting another easy pod over in that corner, and that backy shower's coming out as well. The reason for that is I am going to be looking at standardising the entire pond. Very, very simple. As you all know, I've got a standardised approach. So by putting 2 easy pods in and having them identical with identical pumps and identical fittings and everything else, it's either always going to be wrong or it's always going to be right. If it's always wrong, I've got a chance of repairing it and identifying what it is. And by having 2 identical systems, means I've standardised it, quite plain and simple. So I am going to adopt the 5S approach, which we have, obviously we adopt at work, which is sort, set, shine, standardise and sustain. So the standardise and the sustain bit is what I'm going to plan on doing with these bits and pieces. Obviously the sort and the set, tidying up and everything in a place, and a place for everything and everything in its place. That's going to come probably March, April time. So that's when we're looking at that. As you can see, I've still got some fish in there now. And you can see I'm quite happy as well. The simple reason is, all the issues I've had now seem to have calmed themselves down. So obviously you've got the Kahaku in there, Kitsui's, Kitsui, Oitsui in there, that Benny there still there, fantastic. I've got a beast down there, and that's come from Rob Walker, which again, massive thank you to Rob. That's a 50 cm shag, and he's quite boisterous, so when the weather gets a bit warmer he starts taking over the pond. And as you can see, there's still a few, there's Shuey in there, again to a few other bits and pieces. So I've still got some decent fish coming through on here. Plus I've got some bits and pieces coming up as well. So plus, as you know, in the garage there's a load of fry still in there as well. Some of them have obviously had chill bladder syndrome. So what I've had to do with those, I've had to put them in tank in the house, bring the temperature up on there. Also what I've done as well from Rob again, I've had a couple of super mangoes and a couple of Jinrin Kahaku, which are sitting at 12 cm. So those are going to be grown in the aquarium in the house through the winter. We'll see how they come on as well. What I've also done as well, as you can see, all that's been modified now, and as you can see, waterfall's working as well. And there's just a couple of fish in here. There's four in total. And the reason for that is so I can get everything started. So there's a Kahaku in there, there's my 2 Karashiguis from the challenge, and I've got my Asagi that's down there. Obviously I haven't got on the airstone at the moment, because obviously I've got the waterfall and that's giving me enough oxygen in there. And again, this bad boy isn't set up yet, isn't started up. And when you think there's quite a bit of snow still out there, and frost, you can see in here, it's not too bad at all. There was evidence of frost in here, and I didn't doubt it at all. It wasn't a surprise. It was nowhere near as bad as what it was previously. So what I'll do for the time being is I'm going to leave this video as it is. At the same time, what my intentions are going to be is over Christmas, do some bits and pieces in here, and then on the back end of Christmas, into the new year, I'll start doing the journey again of where we are with this. Like I said, there is a plan, and I've got to get this in place, up and running for May, because obviously then I've got putting on an open day to show everybody what Mad Dog's Pond and his building his trips are all about, and just enjoying it. This is for me, it ain't for anything sales or anything like that. This is just for me, and the reason for that is I made a number of mistakes last year, I've had to learn from my mistakes, and I've had to learn the hard way. I lost a lot of fish, and I lost it because I didn't know what I was doing. So, excuse the cough. So what I'm actually doing this time round, I'm adapting a slowly catch a monkey approach, which we were all taught when we were kids, and it's probably the easiest way of doing it. So go back to basics, take it nice and easy. So first plan of action will be to get the piping in. Well, to be honest with you, before I get that done, I've promised Teresa I'm going to get the fencing, shelving in for the bottom. So I'm going to try and get that. I'm going to try and get this in here during the Christmas period while it's quiet. Hopefully, if it warms up, so I'll get that done. I'm going to bring the AstroTurf up here slightly, pull it back because I've got still got a bit of a low spot there. So I want to sort that out. And then obviously what I'm trying to do is I want to get a pipe in there that'll run all the way up here, all the way up to the top, and I'm going to stop it around there. And then what I'll do is I'll use a pressure filter connector that will then come from the out pipe into the piping and then out to the flower bed. So that's how I'm going to do that. So I'm going to leave this one as it is at the moment. Obviously there he is, main man. So I'm going to leave that as it is for the time being, and catch you on the back end in the new year. So again, wishing your family a massive good Christmas, and a safe one, and have yourself a happy new year. Be good.